The deception. The vast emptiness of space stretched before the UES Valiant as it patrolled the outer reaches of the Sol system. Captain Maya Chen stood on the bridge, her dark eyes reflecting the glow of tactical displays that surrounded her command station. At 42, she carried the distinction of being the youngest officer ever appointed to command Earth's flagship, though few outside the United Earth Defense Force knew the true capabilities of her vessel. "Status report," Chen ordered, her voice carrying the quiet authority that had earned her the respect of her crew. Lieutenant Commander Raj Patel's fingers danced across his console. "All systems nominal, Captain. The outer hull temperature regulators are maintaining our heat signature at minimal levels. To any observer, we would appear to be running obsolete fusion drives." Chen nodded, satisfied. After the collapse wars 3 decades ago, humanity had learned a harsh lesson about survival. While the public believed Earth's military technology had stagnated during Reconstruction, the reality was far different. The Valiant's visible exterior housed nothing but deception, a carefully crafted illusion of technological inferiority that concealed quantum drives, phase-shift defensive systems, and weaponry that could destabilize a small moon. "Captain," called out Ensign Marita from the sensor station, her voice tight with controlled excitement. "We're detecting anomalous gravitational fluctuations at the edge of the Kuiper Belt. 7 distinct signatures, moving in formation." The bridge fell silent as the implications sank in. After centuries of searching the stars for intelligent life, it seemed that contact was about to be initiated, not by humanity reaching outward, but by visitors arriving on their doorstep. "Battle stations," Chen said calmly. "Initiate Protocol Omega." Throughout the massive ship, hidden compartments sealed themselves. Advanced weapons systems powered down to undetectable levels. Cutting-edge sensor arrays retracted behind false panels. Within minutes, the UES Valiant transformed from humanity's most advanced warship into what would appear to be a primitive exploration vessel running on technology centuries behind its actual capabilities. "Broadcast standard greeting protocols on all common frequencies," Chen ordered, "and alert Earth Command that first contact is imminent." The approaching vessels emerged from the darkness of deep space, their hulls gleaming with an iridescent sheen that seemed to bend light in impossible ways. They moved with perfect coordination, like a school of predatory fish navigating cosmic currents. "They're responding to our hail," reported Communications Officer Dias. "Visual and audio incoming." The main view screen flickered, and a figure appeared. The alien was vaguely humanoid, with 4 arms and skin that shifted colors like oil on water. 2 sets of compound eyes blinked independently as it assessed the humans. "Greetings, vessel of Earth," came the translated voice, flowing with musical undertones that the ship's AI struggled to properly render. "I am Grand Navigator Zectoral of the Arvani Collective. We have monitored your civilization's development for some time and have deemed you ready for formal introduction to the galactic community." Captain Chen stepped forward, projecting carefully measured diplomatic deference. "On behalf of United Earth, I welcome you to our system. I am Captain Maya Chen of the Earth exploration vessel Valiant. We are honored by your presence and eager to establish peaceful relations." The alien's skin rippled with colors that the translation system interpreted as amusement. "Your vessel's design is quaint. We detected your nuclear fission power signature from 3 light-years away. Impressive that you've managed interplanetary travel with such primitive technology." Chen maintained her diplomatic composure despite the condescension in the alien's tone. "We are a young species still recovering from global conflicts. The Valiant represents our current capabilities as we rebuild." "Of course," responded Zectoral, colors shifting to what might have been sympathetic patronization. "Many species experience such developmental hurdles. The Arvani would be pleased to offer technological assistance to elevate your civilization to more suitable standards." As the communication ended and arrangements were made for a formal diplomatic meeting in Earth orbit, Chen turned to her senior officers gathered in the tactical room adjacent to the bridge. "Assessment?" she asked sharply. Commander Elena Vasquez, Chen's executive officer frowned. Their technology is at least 3 generations beyond what we publicly acknowledge, but their scanning capabilities don't appear to have penetrated our deception protocols. They're cataloging us as a primitive species, added Lieutenant Commander Pottle. Did you notice how their scans focused on our propulsion and weapon systems? They're assessing threat levels. Chen nodded grimly. And finding none, which is exactly as planned. Intelligence. Dr. Marcus Kim, the ship's sinoanthropologist and intelligence officer, looked up from his analysis. Their communication patterns show classic dominance posturing. The Arvani operate on a hierarchical structure that values technological superiority as the primary determinant of social standing. They view us as potential clients or subordinates, not equals. Are they hostile? Asked Chen, the question that weighed on everyone's mind. Kim considered this carefully. Not overtly aggressive, but predatory in approach. They're offering technological gifts without establishing what they expect in return. In my experience, such one-sided generosity usually has hidden costs. 3 days later, the Valiant escorted the Arvani diplomatic vessel to Earth orbital space. The alien ship dwarfed all visible human constructs, its hull casting prismatic reflections across the orbital platforms and defense satellites that appeared woefully inadequate against such advanced technology. From her position in Earth's primary diplomatic facility on the orbital station Harmony, Captain Chen watched the Arvani delegates with growing concern. Their delegation of 7 representatives moved with fluid grace as they toured the facility, their skin constantly shifting colors as they communicated among themselves in ways the translation systems couldn't fully capture. Admiral Weidzong, the highest-ranking military officer in the Sol system, stood beside her. "What do you think they want?" he asked quietly. "Resources," Chen replied without hesitation. "They've spent the entire tour asking about our mining operations, planetary engineering capabilities, and population distribution. They're assessing what we have and how easily it can be acquired." Zhang's expression remained neutral, but his eyes hardened. "The Security Council is meeting in 1 hour. The Arvani have requested a private discussion about mutually beneficial resource allocation treaties. I believe they're about to show their hand." Chen nodded. "Permission to access the Phoenix network during the meeting?" "Granted," Zhang replied. "The entire system is at your disposal." While the diplomatic negotiations commenced in Harmony's Grand Council chamber, Chen slipped away to a secure communications center. With her command authorization, she accessed Earth's most classified intelligence system, a vast network of stealth satellites and quantum-entangled communications nodes that had been monitoring the Arvani since their arrival. What she discovered confirmed her worst fears. The Arvani ships had been secretly deploying microscopic probes throughout the Sol system, mapping resources, defenses, and strategic weaknesses. More concerning were the encrypted transmissions being sent toward the edge of the system, where gravimetric distortions suggested additional Arvani vessels waited in stealth. Chen brought her findings directly to the Security Council during a brief recess in the negotiations. The evidence was damning. The Arvani weren't seeking peaceful exchange, but preparing for efficient resource extraction, with or without human cooperation. Their history suggests a pattern, explained Dr. Kim, who had joined the emergency session. They identify developing civilizations, offer technological assistance that creates dependency, then gradually assume control of resources under the guise of proper management. Civilizations that resist are typically subjected to overwhelming force until they submit. General Sophia Rice, Earth's highest military authority, studied the tactical projections. They've scanned our visible defenses and found them lacking. Their ships are positioning for system-wide control. Then it's time they learned what humanity is truly capable of, said United Earth President Amara Okafor, her voice resolute. Initiate Operation Veil's Edge. As the Arvani delegation returned to the council chamber, High Navigator Zektoral's skin displayed patterns of confident anticipation. "We have prepared a comprehensive proposal for technological exchange," he announced. "In return, we request modest extraction rights to your system's resources, primarily in your outer planets and asteroid belt, where your capabilities are limited." President Okafor smiled with diplomatic precision. "We are grateful for your interest in partnership, High Navigator. Before we proceed, perhaps you could clarify the purpose of the fleet currently approaching from the heliopause, and explain the deployments of surveillance devices throughout our system." The alien's skin froze momentarily in a pattern of shocked blue before recovering. "Merely standard security protocols. The cosmos contains many dangers, especially for developing worlds." "Indeed it does," agreed Okafor. "We've learned that lesson well." With a subtle gesture, she activated her communication implant. Throughout the Sol system, humanity's true defensive capabilities awakened from their dormant state. The revelation. The Arvani delegation's skin patterns shifted to alarmed crimson as emergency alerts flooded their communication devices. High Navigator Zektoral's composure fractured as reports of unexpected developments throughout the Sol system demanded immediate attention. "What trickery is this?" he demanded, abandoning diplomatic pretense. On the massive view screens surrounding the council chamber, tactical displays showed the approaching Arvani fleet, 15 warships accelerating toward Earth, weapon systems charging. But more significantly, the screens revealed something the aliens had never expected to see: Earth's actual defense network emerging from stealth protocols. Massive orbital platforms shed their disguises as weather stations and communications arrays, revealing phase cannon emplacements and graviton disruption fields. From Earth's moon, what had appeared to be abandoned mining operations transformed as hidden hangar doors opened, releasing swarms of advanced fighter craft. Most shocking to the Arvani observers, 3 massive warships materialized from the dark side of Mars, their quantum displacement fields deactivating to reveal vessels that dwarfed even the Arvani command ships. "Your scans detected exactly what we wanted them to detect," President Okafor explained calmly. "Humanity learned long ago that appearing vulnerable often attracts predators. We've spent generations perfecting the art of strategic deception." Captain Chen stepped forward, her officer's uniform transforming as embedded nanites reconfigured to display her actual rank insignia. "Not merely a ship captain, but commander of Earth's Vanguard Defense Fleet. You assessed our technological level based on what we showed you," Chen said, addressing the stunned Arvani delegation. "A critical miscalculation. In space, the approaching Arvani warships faltered as their sensors registered Earth's true defensive capabilities. Their formation scattered as commanders independently reassessed the situation that had dramatically shifted from an easy subjugation to a potentially devastating conflict. The lead Arvani vessel launched the first strike, a high-energy particle beam directed at what appeared to be a vulnerable Earth satellite. The beam passed harmlessly through a holographic projection, revealing the deception. The retaliatory response was immediate and measured, a precisely calibrated graviton pulse that disabled the Arvani ship's primary propulsion without destroying the vessel. Aboard the orbital station, High Navigator Zektoral's skin had paled to ashen gray. "This is impossible. Our intelligence indicated your species was at least 3 centuries from developing quantum phase technology. Your intelligence was based on our public scientific publications and monitored transmissions," Chen explained. "After the Collapse Wars, humanity united under a single principle: never again would we reveal our true capabilities to the stars until we understood what waited for us there." On the tactical displays, the battle unfolded with surgical precision. Earth's defense forces targeted propulsion and weapons systems, deliberately avoiding life support or command centers. Within 20 minutes, the entire Arvani attack fleet had been neutralized without a single ship destroyed. A demonstration of not just technological superiority, but tactical restraint. "We could have destroyed your vessels," General Reyes noted. "Instead, we disabled them, a courtesy you clearly wouldn't have extended to us had your original assessment of our capabilities been accurate." The Arvani delegation's skin patterns displayed complex emotions that the translation systems struggled to interpret: shock, humiliation, and something that might have been reluctant respect. President Okafor stood, her expression stern but not vindictive. "High Navigator, you came to our system under the pretense of peaceful exchange, while planning resource appropriation. You judged our civilization by its apparent technological development, rather than seeking to understand our values or history. These are not the actions of a species we wish to call allies." Zectoral's secondary arms folded in what the xenoanthropologists identified as a gesture of submission. The Arvani Collective has encountered 17 developing civilizations in our expansion. None have concealed their true capabilities so effectively. None have responded with such restraint when revealing their power. "Humanity nearly destroyed itself in the collapse wars," Chen explained. "We learned that technological advancement without ethical evolution leads only to extinction. When we'd rebuilt, we chose a different path. Power tempered by wisdom, progress guided by compassion." In the following hours, as disabled Arvani vessels were secured and their crews provided medical assistance where needed, a new form of negotiation began. No longer was it between supposed benefactors and struggling recipients, but between equals with different evolutionary paths and technological specialties. 3 days later, Captain Chen stood beside President Okafor as they finalized the first true treaty between humanity and the Arvani Collective, a balanced agreement that established boundaries, communication protocols, and limited cultural exchange. "You understand that word of this will spread," Zectoral noted as the formalities concluded. "Your deception protocol can no longer be maintained." President Okafor smiled. "We anticipated that eventually our true capabilities would be revealed. The question was always whether that revelation would come on our terms or someone else's." As the Arvani delegation prepared to depart, High Navigator Zectoral approached Captain Chen privately. "Your species is unexpected. In all our explorations, we have encountered civilizations that flaunt their capabilities or hide in fear. Never have we found one that concealed strength behind apparent weakness as a deliberate strategy." Chen's expression remained measured. "Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology, High Navigator. It's our adaptability. We've survived ice ages, plagues, and our own destructive impulses. We've learned that sometimes the most powerful position is the one your adversary doesn't realize you hold until it's too late." The alien skin rippled with colors that the translation system interpreted as thoughtful consideration. "The collective will reassess its approach to emerging civilizations based on this encounter. Perhaps there is more to advancement than technological progression alone." As the Arvani ships departed the Sol system under escort, Captain Chen returned to the UES Valiant. The ship no longer maintained its deceptive exterior, its true capabilities now visible for all to see: quantum drives humming with barely restrained power, metamaterial hull gleaming with subtle patterns that indicated advanced defensive systems. "New orders from command," reported Commander Vasquez as Chen settled into her command chair. "We're to establish a permanent presence at the system edge. Intelligence suggests word of our capabilities is already spreading through nearby sectors." Chen nodded, gazing at the stars displayed on the main view screen. "Humanity kept its secrets as long as necessary. Now we need to define our place in a galaxy that suddenly sees us very differently." The Valiant's engines flared to life, propelling the ship toward the outer reaches of the solar system. Humanity had stepped onto the galactic stage, not as supplicants seeking knowledge or desperate survivors begging for help, but as equals who had earned their place through ingenuity, foresight, and the wisdom to know when to reveal their true strength. The deception was over. The revelation had begun.